Maiden voyage of 2020. Strange times. Mid-pandemic. I like this. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like that. So yeah, these are some pretty strange days. Everybody on lockdown, not really supposed to be doing much of anything. I mean, come on, it's gonna take more than a little pandemic to stop people from riding, right? It's first ride out with my new helmet and new jacket. Helmet is so far so good. It's a Bell qualifier with the MIPS set up, and probably the best part of it is this transition lens that comes with it. The damn thing comes with a transitions lens and the MIPS shell. The parts that make up this helmet are worth more than what I paid for it, so not a bad deal. I guess we got some more new things going on inside the helmet too. Got a new mic adapter set up. All the same stuff I was using, just new components, just to try to eliminate the possibility of any more audio issues. So I guess with that said, hopefully you can actually hear what I'm saying right now. Not just a garbled mess of wind noise. As for the new jacket, it's an Olympia. Overall, the jacket itself, the quality, especially for the price of it, is top-notch. It's great. The fit of it is a little odd, though. I've been putting on more weight than I'd like to admit through the fall, so I decided to go up a size from what I usually get. Now I'm in the process of dropping that weight back off, so the jacket's kind of slightly large on me. But that's not even the issue, because I'd still really like to keep it just for the fact that I could, bundle up underneath it on cold days, put on a sweater or something under it. But it's the sleeves, man. The sleeves are huge. And it's not even like the bicep area, like, oh, hit the gym, loser. But it's not that at all. It's the forearm and wrist area. The wrist opening on them is gigantic, and there's no real adjustment to it. You just zipper them closed, and then there's a Velcro piece that goes across the zipper, but it doesn't really cinch up the wrist any tighter. It's bad enough that in a slide I really see these sleeves climbing up your arm. Like, look at this, it's already like coming out of the glove. It's huge. But it was on clearance. There's no other sizes available. And the price was right, so I think it'll still be worthwhile if I can get the local shoe repair place to have a look at it and maybe alter it a bit. They've made some repairs on these Icon gloves many years ago, and they're still holding strong, so if anybody can do it, I'm sure they can. The only issue with that, of course, being everything's closed. 90% of every business in town is shut down because of this pandemic. I messaged them anyway. I'm hoping that maybe they're still doing odd jobs like that on the side. Like their actual shoe store may be closed, but hopefully they're still doing repairs and stuff. Just in the few minutes I've been out, it must have been 20 bikes I've met so far. So besides this whole plague that's sweeping the globe lately, how was your winter? Mine wasn't too bad at all right up until all this nonsense in the spring, but bike-wise, I guess number one thing that occurred over the winter was something caught my eye, and that's the Kawasaki ZX-10R. I had already spent quite a bit of time wondering, like, would I like a Z1000? I've driven one on the track before, and it was kind of fun for that, and I think it would be a even better street bike, obviously, right? But I just don't know if I can live with a naked bike day to day. Much more comfortable, but, you know, I really like the wind protection on a fully fared sport bike. So then, a little while later, a buddy of mine, who actually has a YouTube channel as well, I guess I could put a link for his channel down in the description there. He made a little surprise trip up to Montreal and came back with a H2 SX. I've been watching some of the things he's been doing with that, and that's really got my attention now. I think if this would have been just a normal year with no nonsense going on, I may have actually went and pulled the trigger on one of those. I suppose the year isn't over yet, but for now, the plan so far is just to hold tight and wait till all this noise is over. Keep saving my money, and as long as I come out the other end of this financially intact, that may be my next move. I was really putting in a lot of time on used bike sites watching for a KTM 690 Enduro to replace the KLX. And I'd still love to do that, but I don't know. That ZH2 really caught my eye. So I guess we'll see what the future holds for that. So far, so good. Our province is starting to take some, you know, very small initial steps to reopening and getting things going again. And throughout the whole thing so far, I've still been working. I haven't missed a day of work over this yet. It's just things are getting slow, you know, and like any business that is still operating, we're slowing down a bit. Since I'm a little behind posting videos, I'd like to think that by the time this one hits YouTube that it's, you know, maybe not a thing of the past by then, but at least manageable and things are recovering and going back to normal, or at least the new normal that everyone keeps mentioning these days. Once again, this time of year rolls around and I never really had the itch to get the bikes out, and here we are. It's very late April, had a few nice days. They just kind of sat parked with no battery in them or nothing. Finally today I said, screw it, gotta do it. We got temperatures up in the teens. Later this week they're calling for cold, wet, possibly even a bit of snow again, so now's the time, I guess. Get out for this little quick rip, and enough to make me want to do it again. Then the weather won't cooperate and I'll be screwed. It's been a very productive day for bikes for me anyway. Stripped down my old helmet, pulled all the GoPro and cardo gear out of it, installed all new stuff over into this helmet, which is a hell of a job. Got the batteries put back in this and the 400. Still got out for a ride on this thing in a reasonable amount of time. It feels nice to be out again. Must be the fact that this is the first new helmet I've had in a long time, at least on this bike. The bike sounds different. It sounds a little more raspy. I seem to remember seeing some reviews on this helmet saying that it is definitely not a quiet helmet. I'd say that's accurate. It's nothing new though. The HJCs that I usually run are not exactly known for being quiet. I try to make it a habit to wear my earplugs anyway, so. The one thing I definitely gotta do is get these videos on my desktop and check them out to make sure they turn out alright. Over the last month or two, I've been going through footage from the fall And surprise, the audio is just trash on a lot of it. Some rides, the audio comes and goes midway through the ride. There was a couple of rides where I just had to scrap everything because you just could not listen to any of it. It was just a mess between wind noise and just crackling noises that the mic was making. So hopefully all that is done with. Oh yeah, that's one other thing about this whole quarantine thing. I hate to keep coming back to this, but I mean, how can you not? This is kind of huge. You hear about it every day, non-stop. But anyway, all of our provincial borders are closed right now. The only way across is for essential travel, essential workers, basically. While that can include me at work sometimes, it certainly doesn't include me on this thing. So I guess we're going to have to get to know the New Brunswick back roads pretty well this year. I don't have much hope of those borders opening up anytime soon. Just past Luke out on the Monster. I'm sure there's plenty of people out today. I don't see anyone parked over at the Tim Hortons here, though. I'm sure that's going to be a touchy subject. Getting together for a coffee after a ride or something. Keep your distance and all that. I'm still thinking about that ZH2. I guess times like this, I'd really like having it, you know, especially when you're cruising through town. Not that I spend much time doing that, but much more comfortable than this thing for that. Hopefully by the time I make up my damn mind if I want one or not, there'll be a few leftovers floating around in Quebec. Kind of like there was with that H2SX that my buddy picked up. He got a killer deal on that one. It seems like the SX had a harder time selling, though. I think there was another version of that bike that was, you know, a trim level above it, if you will. And I think they sold more of those, and the SX is just kind of sat on the floor. Might not have that issue with the Z. We will see, though. I guess if you're still watching at this point, go down there and hit subscribe, and you know how this stuff works, right? Just go ahead and do all that. Don't forget, if you'd like to check out any of this gear that I've been rambling on about, or maybe you're just looking for some different gear for yourself, check out the Fortnite links in the description below. You can help out the channel, and it won't cost you a dime. Welcome to 2020, folks. It's gonna be an odd one.